If you told me 3 years ago that come 2023 I'd be back to playing New Leaf as my primary Animal Crossing experience, I would probably curl into a ball and cry. But here we are, 10 years strong. Okay, in all seriousness though, this is not a New Horizons bashing video. Like I said, it's 2023, man. I can't think of a more redundant way to spend my time than once more reiterating that I don't think the game is bad, just flawed, and it didn't meet my high expectations, blah blah blah. If you've been here, you know. If you're new here, well, I think this intro has sufficed. All that said, New Horizons is, of course, a key component of today's discussion, because today, we're looking to the future. Animal Crossing New Horizons is over 3 years old, which is very weird to say out loud. Call it pandemic time alteration, but you can't convince me this phenomenon was more than 2 years ago. And a phenomenon it was. New Horizons took the already popular Animal Crossing franchise and launched it into the stratosphere. I blinked for 1 second and boom, second highest selling Switch game. Animal Crossing is being talked about in my non-gaming circles. My city is being overrun by illegal underground villager trading. Those without Judy will not survive the winter. Like, to put how big New Horizons was into perspective, it outsold every single Animal Crossing game to that point combined. It wasn't particularly close either, dropped an extra 8 mil on top of that. Even before New Horizons, Animal Crossing was one of Nintendo's highest selling franchises, and this one game single-handedly outsold all of it. This naturally puts Animal Crossing in a very interesting position going forward. This newfound popularity will not be ignored by Nintendo. A cultural phenomenon that stomps every other game in your system's library, with the sole exception being the face of casual gaming itself, doesn't go unnoticed. This franchise that I adore is bigger, more popular, more profitable, and more likely to receive focus than ever before. The future seems bright. So I should be excited, right? Yeah, but I'm not. I'm not though. And I wouldn't say I'm pessimistic either. I'm not upset about it. I'm mostly scared. I've talked about this before. I have a whole video titled Why the Future of Animal Crossing Scares Me, with a thumbnail nearly as dramatic as this one. But today, instead of speaking generally and unscriptedly about my worries about this franchise's future, I'd like to focus on one key element that strikes fear into my heart. Nintendo really struck gold by releasing New Horizons in March 2020. This game provided what people desperately needed at the time: social interaction, engagement, relaxation. By all accounts, it was an incredible success. But they shouldn't have done this. Please don't take this as a supervillain monologue where I go, I didn't love the game, Nintendo, you should have let millions suffer. That is not the point I'm trying to make. As disappointed as I ended up being, I wouldn't have changed anything. This game gave tens of millions of people so much joy in a very difficult time. And it's not like I'm excluded from that. New Horizons most definitely helped me out, and I'm very thankful I had it when I did. That said, they shouldn't have done this. And by that, I mean, with the perspective Nintendo had at the time, pre-world coming to a close, there was little justification to launch the game like this. Base New Horizons? This game was funny, bro. It seems very evident to me that after they had already delayed the game from 2019 to 2020, Nintendo was not willing to delay it a second time. I mean, when you have an update 1 month after launch that adds art to the Animal Crossing game, it seems pretty obvious that it wasn't launched in its ideal state. I don't even mean ideal by our standards, but by the consistently hardworking developers, whose passion for Animal Crossing exceeds our own. And this is where my fear comes in. You saw the title, you know what it is: free updates. A term that once carried excitement, now bogged down by the Switch era and Mario sports games aplenty. This has been Nintendo's bread and butter lately, using the update model to attempt to fill out games that weren't heavy on content at launch. Sometimes it works, like with Splatoon, but most of the time this doesn't end well. More often than not, the stuff added months down the line is enough to make up for the subpar launch. Remember when Switch Sports had to wait half a year to get Golf? And then it got delayed? Thankfully, this trend has yet to impact Nintendo's big franchises, aside from one key outlier. Again, this video is not about me digging up 3-year-old beef for the New Horizons, but I would like to discuss what I believe is a dangerous precedent for the series that this game has played a part in setting. And let me say right off the bat that free updates as a concept are not the problem. It's all about execution. And the current manner of execution, dramatic as it is to say, could destroy Animal Crossing as we know it. Progression. You guys know this is my favorite word. As I always say, progression is the heart of Animal Crossing. Every aspect of this series is tied to moving forward. And the free update rollout that Nintendo currently employs is directly at odds with this. There's beautiful growth to be had in building community, growth that feels segmented and artificial if you're downloading a software update to expand it instead of relying on your own progress. It's like running a race, except every 5 steps the ref stops you and is like, sorry man, come back in 3 months. Losing this crucial aspect, the ability to feel proud and self-fulfilled with your own progress, threatens the very core of Animal Crossing. And even if you disagree with my perception of what makes up the heart of Animal Crossing, the system that's currently in place could still end up majorly impacting the quality of the next title. Like I said before, more often than not, these updates are utilized to make up for subpar launches. So, who's to say the launch doesn't get subparier? New Horizons sold 42 million units, so unless Ayaki Goku is secretly an avid Protendo fan, there's very little reason to alter the method that proved to be successful, at least financially, in the past. And with both Animal Crossing and Splatoon being more popular than ever before, with EPD5 needing to balance both near single-handedly, this finish-it-later approach just might be the most effective method of management here, possibly at the detriment of both franchises. And I ask you, do you really want to wait 4 months to be able to swim in Animal Crossing again? 5 to visit Dreams, 11 for Nintendo items, 20 for the Roost? Because this is what's at stake for Animal Crossing 6. Months upon months of waiting. And yes, the pandemic most definitely delayed the rollout, but before all of that, they saw it fit to drop a game without any of this. What's to stop them from doing it again, especially when they have more incentive to than ever? This all stems from the free update model, what I would genuinely consider the biggest threat to Animal Crossing. And the worst part is, they've tricked people. They've tricked people into thinking this is necessary. Obviously, this isn't solely the fault of Nintendo and is more so a reflection of the industry's current perception of longevity, but I've seen people genuinely convinced that an Animal Crossing game now requires updates after the fact to last. And I'm just like, what were these then? Even New Leaf, which was given an enormous update down the line, had enough content to survive the years it took to get there. I think it says a lot that the primary takeaway from New Horizons' popularity drop-off is, man, this game should have gotten more updates, and not, man, this game should have launched in a completed state. The concept of longevity in gaming has been skewed to mean mountains upon mountains of content after launch, and not just being full from the beginning. And like I said before, it's the execution that's the problem. It's using the updates as a crutch for a mediocre launch that can never be healed. Updates in Animal Crossing could be awesome. Can you imagine quarterly additions that bring new furniture, items, or villagers into the mix, or maybe an occasional new event to take part in? It would be great. But 1, the game shouldn't feel like they need these to survive, and 2, they should feel intentional. A content update shouldn't feel like the developers squeezing something in that they obviously wanted at launch. It should feel like a reinvigorating, passionate touch to an already beautiful, finished game. As much as I consider free updates to be Animal Crossing's most worrisome issue going forward, they could just as easily be its biggest strength. New Horizons doesn't have to be seen as the game that introduced this series-destroying threat, but instead the game that laid the groundwork for something that could forever improve Animal Crossing. Which route they take is up to them. Them being corporate Nintendo, that is, not the team of hardworking artists at the whims of their scheduling. Scared as I may be, at least 7 years of mild pessimism will be easier to get through than 7 years of unbridled hype. But please don't take 7 years again. Actually, take as much time as you want. I'm in no hurry. Yep. Nope, I lied. I can't do it. I need it.